Hey guys, Level Cap here, and welcome to This Week in Gaming, your weekly news recap on everything going on in the world of video games. And this week, it appears that Arc Raiders is getting hit with a wave of cheaters. Larian finally revealed their plans for generative AI within the game Divinity. Steam released some vital tools for modders, and much more. Embark are promising to address a new wave of cheating in Arc Raiders, and while cheating has been an off-and-on issue for the game since launch, it seems like the discussion has heated up much more recently, with many more players complaining about cheaters ruining their matches. The developers released a statement in the game's official Discord saying that they take this issue very seriously and are acting on player feedback. They go on to say that they'll be implementing new anti-cheat measures over the next few weeks, in addition to fixing exploits like players going out of bounds. There isn't a clear indication of how extensive the cheating in Arc Raiders is, and while Embark have a decent anti-cheat track record with the finals, Arc Raiders is several times more popular and thus a much juicier target for the cheat market. Extraction shooters also have a long history of cheats really interfering with their gameplay, given the high stakes of each match and the benefits of actually surviving or killing other players. A cheating epidemic nearly destroyed Escape from Tarkov, which is the industry's most successful extraction shooter to date. Larian Studios says it'll stop using generative AI tools in the concept art pipeline for its next Divinity game. This came after the studio's earlier comments about using AI experimentation, which drew criticism and confusion from the online community. In a Reddit AMA, the CEO said that the company wants to remove any ambiguity about where the game's artwork comes from and stressed that there's not going to be any AI-generated art in Divinity. He then added that while Larian isn't ruling out AI tools entirely, it intends to use them only in ways that help teams iterate faster during development rather than to produce final creative assets for release. If the studio ever does use a generative model to create in-game assets, he said it would be trained solely on data Larian owns with clear creator consent. The AMA also included comments from Larian's writing leadership, pushing back on the idea that text generation would be used for the game's narrative content, indicating that AI won't be involved in Divinity's dialogue, journal entries, or other writing. Steam has introduced version control tools for workshop content aimed at reducing the disruption that mods often face when games receive updates. The system allows developers to maintain access to older game versions, while mod creators can specify which version their mods are compatible with. Players in turn can choose combination of mods and game builds that are known to work together, rather than having mods break automatically when an update goes live. Version-specific compatibility has long been an issue for heavily modded games. Titles such as Skyrim, where script extender updates often lag behind official patches, regularly require players to remain on particular versions to keep larger mod lists functional. Cities Skylines has also suffered from the same issues, where major updates disable popular mods, prompting players to delay their updates. Similarly, Stellaris players frequently rely on older versions to preserve compatibility. The effectiveness of Steam's new tools will still depend on how widely developers and mod authors adopt them, but if they are implemented successfully, it could significantly reduce the trial and error and maintenance work that has traditionally accompanied mods after major patches, and frankly dissuaded many modding teams to continue working on projects after their mods get disabled or broken by new updates. BioWare's online-only action role-playing game Anthem is approaching the end of its life. Publisher Electronic Arts has confirmed that the game's servers will be permanently shut down on January 12th, after which it will be entirely unplayable because it lacks an offline mode. Players have responded by returning to the game in its final days, chasing rare achievements and sharing memories as the countdown to shutdown continues. At the same time, modders and dedicated fans are already experimenting with private server projects in an effort to preserve access beyond the official closure. Anthem's sunset highlights larger tensions in gaming between live service economics and game preservation, as titles that require constant internet connection simply disappear once support ends. The Star Wars Genesis mod for Starfield just caused the single largest surge in mod downloads for the game since launch. The mod has been gaining widespread attention lately across social media since it literally turns the entire game into a Star Wars experience, complete with unique quests and Star Wars themed replacements for most characters. Several locations have also gotten the Star Wars treatment. The surge resulted in over 1.17 million mod downloads in 24 hours on Nexus Mods, which is the main repository for the mods used by Genesis. To date, that is the single biggest spike in downloads since the game launched, and many players basically considered the game unplayable without key quality of life mods. The mod's creator has a major update in the works scheduled to launch at the end of the month or early next month with some major improvements and a proper implementation of lightsaber combat. At least when it comes to gamers, CES 2026 felt more like an AI trade show that happened to be held in the same building as the world's biggest consumer tech event. Messaging across the show floor skewed hard towards commercial AI just being in every single product and service. Most consumer-focused gaming upgrades were either rare or barely mentioned by the traditionally larger players in gaming hardware like Nvidia, AMD, and Intel. AMD's keynote leaned heavily into corporate AI products to the point where they didn't even mention the new Ryzen 7 9850X 3D, a gaming-focused X3D chip slated for Q1 this year that'll likely be the world's fastest gaming CPU. One surprising backpedal on the whole AI thing came from Dell. The company's head of product, Kevin Terwilliger, said during a Q&A portion of the company's presentation that we're very focused on delivering upon the AI capabilities of a device. In fact, everything that we're announcing has an NPU in it, but we've learned over the course of this year, especially from a consumer perspective, is that they're not buying based on AI. He went on to then clarify, in fact, I think AI probably confuses them more than it helps them understand a specific outcome. What makes this surprising is that Dell were one of the most vocal AI proponents at CES last year and announced several major AI products at that event. Rumors of a new Witcher 3 expansion are gaining momentum after IGN Poland said it first heard about the project years ago from a source it described as a repeatedly reliable insider. The outlet said it previously held the information because it came from only one person, but decided to speak publicly now that similar claims have resurfaced. According to IGN Poland's account, the expansion would send players to Zerikana, a distant desert region referenced in the series lore, and could provide narrative room for developments involving Ciri and Witcher mutations. These rumors have been buzzing for weeks now following a leak late last year that CD Projekt Red were potentially building an expansion for The Witcher 3. Most outlets are positioning the alleged DLC as sort of a marketing or crossover event to tie in with The Witcher 3 and its upcoming sequel. Activision has launched Call of Duty Black Ops 7's first mid-season update, adding new maps and modes while also kicking off a major Fallout crossover event. The limited time promotion runs for several weeks and includes Fallout-themed operator skins based on the show's main cast, special playlist content, and a Vault Tech makeover of Nuketown. The collaboration lands just months after Activision responded to player complaints about the franchise's increasingly goofy cosmetic direction in Black Ops 6. In an August 2025 announcement, the publisher acknowledged concerns that Call of Duty had drifted from its original grounded identity over the years and said that Black Ops 7's cosmetics would be better matched to the game's settings. So far, the reaction to the Fallout cosmetics appears to be more muted than the backlash over some of Black Ops 6's more cartoonish crossover skins. Reports suggest that the extremely popular chat and messaging service Discord has confidentially filed paperwork for an initial public offering, a move that would take the company public, though no firm timeline has been announced. Launched in 2015 as a gamer-focused chat service, Discord has since grown into one of the most widely used communication platforms for gaming and communities, creators, and even businesses, offering tools for organizing groups, voice and text communication, and live interaction. interaction. And through all that, Discord has remained independent despite past acquisition talks with major technology companies, including reported discussions with Microsoft back in 2021 that valued the company in the tens of billions of dollars. Instead, it has continued to rely on private funding from venture capital and institutional investors such as Tencent and Fidelity, which have collectively invested hundreds of millions of dollars into the company. An IPO would provide liquidity for those investors and early stakeholders while also subjecting Discord to the expectations and scrutiny that come with being a publicly traded company. Analysts and observers have suggested that this could lead to changes in how the platform operates, particularly around monetization. Up next, if you want to check out the video on the current situation with Battlefield 6 and its diminishing player count, you can check out that video right here. I highly recommend it. It's an interesting subject about a game franchise that has always dropped off its player base pretty rapidly after launch. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.